Добар ден. Гостин во денешното интервју на Радио Слободна Европа е амбасадорката на Кралството Холандија во Република Македонија, Симона Филипини. Господја Филипини, очекувате ли решение за спорот за името до крајот на јуни? Меѓународните представници покажуваат голем оптимизам, меѓутоа гледате ли вие реална можност да се оствари напредок? Ова ве прашувам особено поради најавената средба на медијаторот Нимиц со двајцата преговарачи до крајот на овој месец.
Yeah. Well, I think it's less important that the international community is optimistic than that the two governments who have to strike the final deal and to come to a mutually acceptable solution are optimistic. So I would rather see some real optimism in Greece and Macedonia than I would like to see the optimism in the international community. I hope we can be optimistic. I think that all the ingredients are there. There are no secret issues that have never been discussed before, I feel. So I really hope now that the two governments will show the political courage, the political will to come up with a solution. It is not easy. I don't say it's easy, and it's emotional on both sides because both parties have deep emotions regarding this issue. But if they want to strike the deal, they can.
Ја поддржувате ли одлуката председателството на Македонија во Советот на Европа да се именува со македонско председателство?
Now, it's not so much about whether I like that name, this title for the chairmanship of the Council of Europe myself. It's about the fact that Macedonia and Greece have an interim agreement and whether it's acceptable in the terms of the interim agreement and whether it's acceptable in view of the UN Security Council resolutions on this specific issue of the name and the consequences of it. And I think, and I have checked it, that the Council of Europe always strictly kept on using former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, like also in the EU context is the case, the UN context. So I don't know whether this is going to fly. I don't know whether it's a good strategy, but I think that there are rules of the game being set. I don't have an opinion about this personally, but so far in international context, in official international organizations, Macedonia is being called former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. That name is being used till a proper and final name has been found by both parties.
Што доколку Македонија подолго време остане надвор од Европската унија и од НАТО, очекувате ли некакви последици по меѓуетничките односи, очекувате ли некаква политичка криза, последици по безбедноста или економијата во земјава?
I don't think that there is any direct relation between being in and out or NATO or EU and interethnic issues. It shouldn't be, because those organizations only want to take in mature countries who don't make problems, who have stable democracies and institutions. So there is no direct issue. But of course, at the same time, it is clear that the necessity of becoming a NATO member is being felt very clearly by many Macedonians, and that it will be very beneficial for Macedonia to become a member. So you can ask the question from the negative side, but you can also say what kind of advantages does Macedonia enjoy by becoming a NATO member? And we all know, I recently heard my colleagues from the countries in the region who are already member states of NATO say that they had a huge influx of direct foreign investments, even after the invitation only. It will bring stability, it will bring a sense of security for the people of Macedonia. It will bring new money streaming into Macedonia, which is much needed in the socio-economic context of this country. So I think there are many positive reasons why to become a NATO member.
Што е со реформите потребни за членството во Европската унија и во НАТО? Очекувате ли некаков застој или можеби враќање назад во нивното спроведување, очекувајќи го решението на прашањето за името?
Well, I certainly hope not. In the first place, all the reforms that have to be made, Macedonia is doing for itself. To become a global competitor, to be able to function in the future in the European Union, but also in wider terms in general. It is very important for Macedonia to implement all the reforms that are necessary for economic competitiveness, to become even a better democracy, a more mature political dialogue. There are many things that are important for the citizens of Macedonia. And I certainly hope that the Macedonian government and its people will not get disencouraged because of the non-invitation for NATO thus far and the non-start yet of the negotiations. So I hope that they will continue to invest in reforms full speed.
Како гледате на неодамна усвоениот закон за антидискриминација?
Well, you probably know that I was one of the fighters to get a full-fledged European compatible law adopted in Macedonia. Unfortunately, that has not been the case. But I would still say that the glass is half full, thanks to the huge efforts of a broad civil society field, several parliamentarians, and also, I think, members of the government circles and internationals. I think that the articles that had been taken out, most of them are back in the law, which is very important. There were very important articles about non-discrimination, marginalized groups, segregation, exclusion. Plus, the independence of the monitoring body has been restored in the new law, which I feel is very important. And of course, I hope that the other half of the glass, which is now half full, will be filled very quickly, because that is necessary in my view. There is certainly discrimination against people with a different sexual orientation, and it's unfortunate that that there was not enough courage or will to put that text into the law. And it has to be done anyway. As you know, it's a precondition for EU membership. And also just now in the Council of Europe, a very courageous decision has been taken on this issue.
Очекувате ли дека ќе бидат вклучени некакви критики во врска со овој закон во наредниот извештај на Европската комисија?
Well, I think it will certainly come back in the next report of the European Commission. It's a fact of life. It's a statement. If you look at the preconditions for membership, this is one of them, and it has not been fulfilled.
Очекувате ли реакција од страна на Европската Унија по одлуката на пратениците да не се разгледуваат ревизорските извештаи и буџетот во собранието?
I think so. As you probably know, the Dutch auditing chamber has been cooperating with the Macedonian audit office for a number of years by now. They had a very good cooperation. They were very proud also of the great progress of the Macedonian treatment of audit reports, namely discussion in the parliament, a very transparent stand. And if that is being taken back, I think that is, if that would be, I would consider it a step back, to be honest. I think this kind of open discussion as to expenditures by government or government-related institutions, government-funded institutions, is very important. Basically, it's taxpayers' money. That is how I feel about these things in the Netherlands, and I think it's very important for citizens to see where their money is going, or where it has gone, and to improve next year to do better.
Ви благодарам за разговорот.
Thank you very much for the interview also.
Тоа беше неделното интервју на Радио Слободна Европа. Пријатно.